Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Sofhia Syarif, a first-year English literature student from Universitas Negeri Malang. I want to say thank you for having me today. On this occasion, I am going to be talking about those things that are very simple and pure. Yet, us humans beings are still confused about how to simply implement our knowledge and understand both of them. Let me tell you. Tolerance and compassion. Just to be honest, I think this chaotic world is created as a result of the lack of tolerance and compassion. Almost 60 years, the war between Israel and Palestine, the conflict in Syria, the genocide of Rohingya, the war between Russia and Ukraine, criminal violence in Mexico. Do you think that all of them happen because of the politics? Yes, they do. But besides, it happens because we, humans beings, failed to be civilized. As a human being, we fail to keep our society safe. Our ego, our selfishness, our greed, our anger, our hatred and jealousy devour and swallowing the kindness within our heart, destroying our pure mind and soul that God has sent to us. Now, what are actually tolerance and compassion? According to dictionary.com, tolerance is a fair, objective, and permissive attitude toward those whose opinions, beliefs, practices, racial or ethnic origins, etc. differ from one's own, a freedom from bigotry. And compassion is a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another who is stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering. Now I wonder, do we acknowledge the tolerance and compassion? Why are people still fighting about how to eat chicken porridge properly, whether it is stirred or not? Why are there are many people who have to suffer from starvation while the others enjoy eating in the restaurants every day? Why are the wars in this world still happening even though we have had our voices being spoken to stop them? They all mean that tolerance and compassion are invalid for their people. But speaking of them, let me remind you of very little things. Do you realize that our society tends to ignore or avoid the difference? For example, you tend to side with people who have the same view or perspective of something and ignore the others. Do you realize that that is one of the roots of intolerance? We tend to let our egos, our thoughts win the games. Intolerance also happens as a result of prejudiced behavior. For example, it is created when someone with hatred provokes his or her people to refuse the existence of a different or another communities, races, religions, or even ideas, etc. See how the ignorance of diversity and lack of compassion can create a disaster, such as war, conflict, racism, blasphemy, hatred, and so on. But I believe my audience here have an open mind. I believe that all of you are used to the diversity. I believe that most of you even meet people from different races, religions, or countries and have a good relationship with them. So I eagerly want to encourage all of us, young and old, boys and girls, men and women, we together spread love, compassion, and being tolerant and full of affection beside the diversity. How? It is not about to make a big revolution, but how you give contributions, even from very little actions, to create this world, our home, as a safe place for creators to live their lives without being afraid of discrimination, violence, racism, being judged, being ridiculed by power people. Here are some tips from me. First, open your heart and mind. Do not let a nest of ego jail you from the treasure of diversity. You have to throw your closed mindset and fear about the things that are not the same as yours with. Learn to be respectful when someone tells you their own thoughts. Being a good listener. It is a very simple action, but sometimes we are difficult to do that. It means that you pay all your attention to the speaker and they will feel that you listen to them and they will feel pleased. Don't be afraid to defend people who are discriminated against by other people. Be a curious person. It is very, very important because being a curious person means that you let yourself to learn a lot of things from a lot of people from many different backgrounds, and it will broaden your perspective or your point of view of something. And then don't be ignorant when someone around you is in hardship or trouble. Give your hand to help them. Never think that what you do don't make any changes. It was a big mistake. And then let your voices being heard when a discrimination occurs around you. There are some of my favorite quotes from people about tolerance and compassion. First, Albert Einstein said, "Laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression. In order that every man present his views without penalty, there must be spirit of tolerance in the entire population." And then from Marvin Aston, he said, "If we could look into each other's hearts and understand the unique challenges that each of us faces, I think we would treat each other much more gently, with more love, passion, tolerance, and care." Everyone, I hope after this you will share your love, affection, and compassion to your mother, your father, your family, your friends, your teacher, and your neighbors. You will be more open to those who have different perspective of things, and you won't ever judge them easily. Last but not least, never ignore little things that you make to create a better world. My name is Sofhia Syarif. I am beyond thankful for you that have been paid attention to my speech. See you and arrivederci.